Go with the flow. A stuffed wombat production.
This is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society with their performance of Go With The Flow. Our story begins about 1,000 years ago, on the edge of a forest somewhere in Britain. It is nightfall. A middle-aged man is standing by a tree, looking towards a nearby village of thatched huts. Another middle-aged man, this one wearing a suit of armour, approaches him. "I say, Mugg, old boy."
Everything all right, son?
"Yes. I was just wondering if you had the thermos flask. I quite fancy a cuppa."
Yes, it's here. I'll swap you for the Tupperware box with the sandwiches in.
"Fair exchange. Here you go."
Thanks very much. Be careful with the tea. It's still piping hot.
"Just what I wanted." Lovely. "Seen anything?"
Not for a bit. All the villagers came back from the fields a little while ago, and by the look of the smoke rising from the open chimneys, they're now making their supper.
"What do they have for supper in the Dark Ages? Or is this the Middle Ages? I can never tell."
Depends who you ask, but by and large the Dark Ages and the early Middle Ages are pretty much the same thing. Middle Ages is a handy coverall term.
Sort of middle-aged spread.
Very droll.
Thank you. And their suppers?
Probably fish fingers and oven chips, followed by Arctic roll.
Seriously?
No, not in 1021 AD. They're probably having some sort of soup or stew, mainly with root vegetables and a bit of meat if they've got some. Possibly bread with curds or cheese.
Doesn't sound too shabby. I think I'd swap those Marmite sandwiches for some of that now. I wouldn't say no to some beef stew.
More likely to be mutton. You saw the old sheep near where we parked the time machine. By the way, you did camouflage it, didn't you?
The sheep?
The time machine?
Oh yes, it's all covered up with branches and leaves and stuff. Blends right in.
Excellent. Wouldn't want to cause a stir.
Yes, imagine if we ended up on the front page of Ye Olde Daily Maily.
That is unlikely to happen. They don't have newspapers yet.
No newspapers? But suppose they want to do the crossword.
Zung, did you actually go to school?
Oh yes, I had the finest private education money could buy. Lots of cross-country runs and games of cricket and rugby against the other schools. I ran the tuck shop.
And what about the lessons?
Lessons?
Right. Well, moving on, I think I might slip down to the village for a closer look.
Is that wise, old boy? I mean, I know you wanted to pop back in time to see what things were like 1,000 years ago, but we don't really want to advertise our presence here, do we?
Look, I'm not going to knock on their doors and introduce myself. Hello, peasants. I'm Major General Timothy Mugg. I'm from the future. Would you like to see my iPhone? I shall play it very carefully. It's quite dark now. I can sneak up to one of the huts and see if I can listen to what's going on inside.
Want me to come with you?
Not unless your suit of armour has a stealth mode.
I'll see you later then, old boy. Be careful.
So I'll just edge up to this hut. Nice bit of thatching gone on here. Very sturdy looking. And inch my way round to the doorway. Now, let's listen.
Dad?
What is it, son?
You put too much peat on the fire again, Dad.
Not all this again.
But, Dad, we have to preserve the peat, otherwise there won't be none left for the future.
Yap, yap, yap.
But it's true, Dad. We got to preserve our resources.
Who's been filling your head with this rubbish?
It's not rubbish, Dad.
You been talking to that girl again, that Viking's daughter, Greta, what's her name?
No, Dad.
Don't you lie to me, son. I seen you together down by the haystacks. Dunno what it is about your generation. All this bleating on about resources and whatnot.
But it's important, Dad. If we don't look after our natural resources, the whole planet could be impossible to live on in just a couple of decades.
And what do you know about the whole planet? You ain't even been out the village. Kids today. Know what I call you lot? Millennials, that's what I call you. It's like you were born yesterday.
Dad?
Shut up, son, and eat your stew. What was that?
Bugger!
There's some unearthly sound coming from outside.
Of all the times for Zung to text me.
You lot stay here. I'm going to take my big sharp axe and investigate.
Time for me to exit pronto.
Ah, Mugg, did you get my messages?
Yes, I bloody did, you maniac.
Steady on, old boy. It was only a couple of texts.
Right while I was crouching outside one of the huts, eavesdropping on the villagers. If I hadn't legged it quickly, I'd be back here now without my head.
Would you? How would you see where you were going without your head? You'd keep bumping into the trees and... You look awfully angry, Mugg. Is it something I... Oh, I see.
Quite.
I say, I'm awfully sorry.
I could have been killed. I was lucky to get away without being spotted.
Yes. How about a nice cup of tea?
That's your answer to everything, isn't it?
Actually, yes, it is my answer to everything.
Oh, very well then. I need something calming after all that. Maybe a sandwich too?
Didn't you read my texts?
Not while I was running for my life, no. What did they say?
I was pointing out that you still had the Tupperware box with you, and would you mind bringing it back?
But I didn't have the Tupperware box.
Yes, you did. You gave me the thermos flask earlier, and I gave you the Tupperware box. Remember?
Crikey, you did. I haven't got it now.
So where is it?
I must have left it by the hut. This is a disaster.
Oh, I can manage without a sandwich till we go back to 2021.
Not that, you idiot. What's going to happen if a Tupperware box full of Marmite sandwiches turns up in the Middle Ages? It'll cause havoc. And what if an archaeologist digs it up centuries from now? How are they going to explain that? It would throw doubt on every historical discovery ever made.
Ooh,
Well put.
So what do we do?
We'll have to try and retrieve it. But let me think. Yes. We can't go now because they'll still be on edge from hearing your text messages, and it could get very choppy if Axman spots us. I'm right. When they go out to work the fields in the day, everyone goes. Every man, woman and child. That's certainly how it looked when I was watching them come back earlier. We should sneak down just after they've gone tomorrow morning and look for it.
And until then?
I think we should go back to the time machine and get some sleep.
Aren't you forgetting something?
What?
We have a time machine.
I know we have a time machine. I just said so.
So we could pop forward to tomorrow morning and look for the Tupperware box now.
Yes, we could. Or we could sleep. Frankly, the last hour or so has been just the teeniest bit stressful, and I, for one, want a good snooze.
Fair enough. Mugg! Mugg, wake up!
Is that you, Princess Freckles? Give us another kiss.
Get off me! Wake up, Mugg!
What? Hello? Zung? Oh, it's you. What time is it?
It's the Middle Ages, that's what time it is, and the alarm clock didn't go off.
The alarm clock?
On the time machine, the alarm didn't go off. In fact, none of it seems to be working at all.
Crikey, I'd better have a look at it. Let me see. Oh dear.
What is it?
The time machine is completely out of power.
Is that a problem?
Depends.
On what?
On how you feel about spending the rest of your life stuck in the Middle Ages living next to a bunch of villagers who will probably come to regard us as some sort of strange Tupperware monsters and try and cut off our heads.
On the whole, I think I wouldn't like that. Can you power it up again? Actually, what does it run on? You never told me. Is it energy from a solar flare or some sort of mini nuclear reactor?
2 AA batteries.
You what?
2 AA batteries.
Your time machine, which can take us anywhere from the beginning to the end of time, runs on 2 AA batteries.
Well, of course. What would be the point of draining the energy from a star or smashing atoms together? Very wasteful. 2 AA batteries do the job very nicely.
And do you carry spares?
Normally. But remember when we were watching Bake Off the other night and your TV remote control stopped working? I put them in that.
So now this is my fault.
I'm not apportioning blame. I'm just saying that we needed 2 AA batteries, and there isn't like to be a W.H. Smith's opening around here for another 1,000 years or so.
I've got a couple of spare AA batteries you could borrow.
Oh, thanks very much.
They're fully charged.
Brilliant.
Happy to help.
Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.
What a helpful young lady.
Mugg?
So polite, too.
Mugg?
What?
What do you mean, what?
I mean, what?
Well, call me confused, but here we are, in the Middle Ages, and a young lady just pops out of nowhere and happens to have some spare AA batteries. Doesn't that strike you as a little odd?
Now you come to mention it, yes. In fact, more than a little odd.
I think we should talk to her.
Damn right. Miss?
I say, miss.
Hello again.
Hello?
Hello.
Everything okay, I hope? Nothing wrong with the batteries?
Well, sort of.
Oh dear.
I mean, I'm sure they're fine and all that, but what is wrong is that, well, that they're here at all.
What's wrong with that?
This is the Middle Ages. There shouldn't be AA batteries in the Middle Ages. Indeed, there shouldn't be any batteries at all. They won't be invented until about 1800.
I see.
And AA batteries aren't invented until the 1990s.
I say, old boy, how do you know all this?
Ah, you'd be surprised what's in my head.
That is certainly true.
Well, goodbye again.
No, hang on. This is important. What are batteries doing in the Middle Ages? And what are you doing here with them?
That's a bit unkind. I have the right to exist, don't I?
I don't mean that. I mean, what is a young lady who is clearly not of this time doing here?
Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
So can I.
Now that's frustrating.
She's got you there, Mugg. Well done, miss. I love it when people wind him up.
My pleasure.
Thanks a bunch, Zung. Don't you want to know the explanation for this too?
Actually, I do, yes. Can you tell us, miss?
Well, I shouldn't really.
Oh, please.
I must warn you that the answer is quite startling. It could really blow your minds.
Pretty please.
Well...
I'll get you a present.
Okay then, I'm a time traveller.
You're a...
A time traveller. I did warn you that it might blow your minds.
Yes, but
I mean...
what I really mean is...
Good Lord, I can hardly...
Yes, I know. I'm sorry if I shocked you. I realise that this news must be quite startling to people from your time.
What do you mean, our time?
Well, now. This time, this day...
But we're not from now.
No, we're time travellers too. We're from the future.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
You're not joking me.
Hand on heart, it's true.
Well, now I'm the one who's shocked. I really thought you were from now. The way you've blended in by wearing period costumes is very clever.
Period costumes?
Yes, those hideously out-of-date clothes you're wearing, and that suit of armour your friend is in.
Do you mind? This is what we wear every day.
Now you are joking me.
Any more of this rudeness, young lady, and I'm going to take these AA batteries and stick them up your nose.
Oh yeah, Grandad. I'd like to see you try to catch me in all that armour.
Look, everyone, let's just calm down a bit. Zung, say you're sorry.
Shan't.
Say you're sorry, or I'll connect your suit of armour to the time machine when it's powered up and put a few thousand volts through you.
Sorry.
Say it like you mean it.
I really am very sorry.
Thank you.
Apology accepted.
Good. So, moving on. This is really quite remarkable. 2 sets of time travellers meeting like this in the past.
Yeah, it's never happened to me before. In all my time travels, I've been the only time traveller there.
All your time travels?
Oh yeah, I've done dozens of them.
Forgive me for being a bit personal, but you look awfully young for a time traveller.
How old are time travellers supposed to look?
Yes, good point.
So, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 12.
12?
Yes, 12.
You invented a time machine when you were 12?
Oh no.
I was going to say.
I invented it when I was 10.
10?
But I've done most of my time travelling since I turned 12.
Why so?
That's when my parents got a dog. They spend so much time with the dog, now they just don't notice when I step off for a time journey. It's very convenient for me. They just think I'm up in my room mining Bitcoin or something.
I see.
And where have you hidden this time machine?
I haven't.
You haven't? But I can't see anything here that looks like a time machine, or what I imagine a time machine looks like.
You're looking at it now.
I am?
We are?
Yep.
Then I assume it's some sort of visually protected device that you're wearing. An invisible backpack or something like that?
Nope.
Go on, tell us.
You are literally looking right at it. Or should I say them? I'm wearing my time machine. It's my clothes.
Genius.
Thanks. I thought, what's the point of having a time machine that you have to park somewhere and find it every time you want to time travel? Also, suppose you couldn't get back to it or someone took it away. So I invented time clothes.
That is utterly brilliant.
I know, right?
But where are all the switches and dials and levers and cables and tubes?
Is that what you have in your time machine? That's so old-fashioned.
Oh yes, quite, absolutely, very old-fashioned.
Crawler.
I mean, I still have all that stuff, but I've minimised it to be as practical as possible. The fibres in my top carry a lot of computing signals, and my trays contain a source of perpetual energy. Also, I always have some spare AA batteries with me just in case.
Luckily for us.
All the controls are in various pockets, so I can be chatting to someone in the past and they think I'm just reaching into my pocket to get a hanky or whatever, but I'm actually just setting the controls to return home.
So I see you've got your hand in your pocket now. Does that mean... And she's gone. And we didn't even find out her name.
I call myself Flo.
As in Florence?
Sort of, but with a W at the end, so Flow, like I can flow through time.
How poetic.
Thanks.
Since you're obviously so clever, I don't suppose you want to help us retrieve a Tupperware box from some axe-wielding villagers, do you? Well, that answers that. Off she goes. Still, at least we can power up the time machine again. I'll just pop the batteries in. There we go. Excellent. Thank you, Flo.
And now?
Now, we have to get the Tupperware box back. Zung, will you stop complaining?
But I'm freezing without either of my suits of armour on.
Well, how was I to know you didn't wear anything underneath them? Anyway, we have to be as quiet as possible now. We're near the huts.
I think I've got a thistle stuck up my...
Shh! I can't see the Tupperware box. I fear they must have found it. Can you see anyone about?
Not from down here in the grass, no.
Right. Let's creep into the hut and have a look. Come on. Yes, look. There it is by the fire. Let's grab it and...
Going somewhere?
Oh, hello.
Keep back, you devil. I've got my axe, and I'm not afraid to use it. And tell your mate there to cover up that great big dangly thing. It's disgusting.
Big dangly thing?
I mean his stomach.
Oh, yes. Zung, wrap yourself in some of that sackcloth.
It's a bit itchy round the old...
Never mind that. What about the chopper?
Well, as I was saying...
I mean the massive axe in our friend's hand here.
That's enough chat from you two. I want to know what's going on. First, I find this strange-looking box outside my hut last night. Then I find a couple of diabolical weirdos inside my hut today.
Do you mind?
Are you a witch?
No.
Wizard?
No.
Warlock?
No.
Well, I reckon you're something beginning with W.
Welcome. That begins with W. Are we welcome?
No, you're not. In fact, I think it's time for my axe to go to work. Just keep still while I take a good swing at your neck.
Wait.
Why?
If you kill us, you'll, never know about the magical properties of this box.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It's a gift from, the great god, Tupperware. Yes, that's it. The great god Tupperware. He sent us as his messengers to present it to you.
Yes, that's right. Oh, great chieftain. Tupperware has been saying what a splendid chap you are, and he wants you to have this
food of the gods which is contained inside the box. No mortal man has ever been allowed to taste it before.
Well, that's very nice of the great god
Tupperware.
Tupperware.
So you just open the box. Yes, like that. And you raise the holy food to your mouth. Zung, start edging towards the door. And then you give me the box and close your eyes as you put the food of the gods in your mouth.
Like this, you mean?
That's it.
It tastes...
Zung,
Ah!
run!
It's foul!
It's Marmite. Zung, keep running.
I think I'm gonna...
Well, praise be for Marmite sandwiches.
Yes, clearly too much for Middle Ages taste buds.
More tea?
Yes, please. You know, it's so nice to be back in the 21st century. I think we might park the time machine for a while. Spare ourselves any time-travelling troubles.
Oi, where's my present?
Bugger! Go with the Flow was written by Richard Hall and starred Tim Reed as Timothy Mugg. Richard Hall was the announcer, Dig Zung, Dad and Son, and Florence Smith was Flo. Sound effects were positively medieval, and it was a stuffed wombat production.